Under the twilight sky, a massive, shadowy serpent slithers silently into view. Not a creature of terror but a guardian, this enigmatic being watches over a lonely child who has known little else but solitude. The serpent's dark form hides gentle eyes that speak of ancient wisdom and hidden sorrow. With every careful movement, it weaves a bond of protection and warmth that defies both logic and fear. The child finds comfort in the creature's silent vigil, a friendship forged in the quiet corners of an old, mysterious land. But beneath the surface of this unexpected bond lurks a secret, a chilling truth that threatens to shatter the delicate peace they share. In this strange union, folklore comes alive, blurring the lines between myth and reality. Each moment pulses with suspense, drawing you deeper into a tale where loyalty battles ancient curses, and every shadow hides an untold story. Tonight, secrets await. Deep in a forgotten part of the world, where old trees whispered secrets and gentle winds carried memories of ancient days, there lived a child. This child lived on the edge of a quiet village and a mysterious forest, a land steeped in folklore and quiet wonders. In this land, every rustle of the leaves told a story, and every shadow held a hint of magic. One soft morning, as the first light painted the dew-kissed grass, the child wandered toward the forest's edge. The village had long spoken of this wild place, where nature moved to a silent rhythm and the old tales of guardians and curses were born. With cautious steps and a heart full of quiet curiosity, the child entered the forest, drawn by the call of something unseen. Not long after, from the cool shade of towering pines, a great presence emerged, a massive, shadowy serpent. Its form was dark and mysterious, yet there was a gentleness in its slow, deliberate movements. The serpent's eyes glimmered with an inner light, a soft glow that reached out like a silent promise. At that moment, fear did not take hold. Instead, a calm understanding passed between the two, a bond born from the heart of the wilderness itself. In the days that followed, the child returned time and again to the forest. Each encounter with the serpent deepened their connection. The serpent would glide near, its long body moving gracefully through the underbrush, always keeping a protective distance. With each silent meeting, the child learned to read the creature's subtle signals. A slight tilt of the head, a soft glimmer in its eyes, a gentle shift in its form that spoke of care and loyalty. The forest, as if aware of their unique bond, began to embrace them. The ancient trees seemed to lean in closer, their leaves murmuring softly above. A clear stream wound its way through the forest floor, its water sparkling in the sunlight, reflecting the deep blues of the sky and the quiet strength of the serpent. The child would sit by this stream, feeling the cool water pass over fingers while the serpent rested nearby, its presence a constant reminder of protection and mystery. Yet, even as this bond grew, a quiet unease began to stir within the forest. Faded carvings on old stone walls and mysterious symbols hidden in the bark of ancient trees hinted at secrets buried deep in time. Whispers of old legends and forgotten curses floated on the wind. The villagers spoke in hushed tones of a guardian whose power was both a blessing and a burden. Though these tales were often dismissed as mere folklore, they resonated in the eyes of the serpent, whose gaze sometimes turned somber as if recalling a past filled with hidden sorrow. On one crisp evening, as the sun dipped low and shadows danced between the trees, the child and the serpent met by the edge of a quiet glen. The fading light turned the sky a soft grey, and the forest held its breath. It was in this still moment that the child sensed a change. The serpent's normally calm eyes flickered with an emotion too deep for words, a silent signal that something was not as it seemed. Even as the child felt safe in the creature's presence, questions began to form in the quiet corners of the mind. Who was this guardian truly, and what ancient secret lay hidden behind those dark eyes? Every detail in the forest seemed to echo these unspoken questions. The gentle rustling of leaves took on a more urgent tone, and the steady flow of the stream appeared to murmur secrets that the child could only guess at. The serpent, moving slowly in the dim light, seemed to be carrying more than just the weight of its massive form. It carried the burden of memories and stories from a time when the world was full of magic and mystery, a time when guardianship came with hidden costs. With each passing day, the forest revealed more of its quiet puzzles. The child found small clues scattered along the winding paths, an old pendant half buried under leaves, a faded carving on a fallen log, and mysterious markings on rocks by the stream. Each clue was a thread in a larger tapestry, woven through centuries of legends and quiet truths. The bond between the child and the serpent deepened, even as the signs of an ancient secret grew stronger. The serpent's calm demeanor remained, yet every so often, a flicker of pain or sorrow would cross its eyes, as if it remembered a past filled with both kindness and hidden torment. The child, with a heart pure and curious, felt these moments keenly. Though too young to grasp the full weight of these memories, the child sensed that the guardian carried a secret that could one day change everything. In the hush of the forest, as the cool night air began to settle and the first stars twinkled overhead, the bond between child and guardian felt both unbreakable and fragile. It was a bond built on trust, nurtured by the silent language of nature, yet shadowed by the promise of revelations to come. The forest, ever watchful, seemed to whisper in its ancient tongue, hinting at a truth that would one day burst forth into the open. As the evening deepened, the child looked up into the darkening sky, feeling the weight of 1,000 untold stories. The serpent, coiled protectively beside the child, seemed to echo the same unspoken question. What price does a guardian pay for a bond as deep as the roots of these ancient trees? And what secret lay hidden in the depths of its knowing eyes? The quiet of that night was filled with possibilities and gentle warnings, a lullaby of nature that promised that even the warmest bonds could hide secrets that might one day unravel the world as it was known. In the days that followed, the child began to notice small, unsettling changes. The guardian serpent's gentle glances now carried an undercurrent of sorrow, and its slow, deliberate movements hinted at secrets too heavy to bear. One misty morning, the serpent led the child deeper into the forest, toward a hidden clearing where ancient ruins lay embraced by twisting vines and weathered stone. There, on a crumbling wall, lay an inscription etched in faded letters. The words spoke of a curse older than the forest itself, a tale of betrayal and lost hope. The child's fingers brushed over the cold stone as if trying to feel the echoes of time. In that silent moment, the serpent's eyes darkened with a grief that could not be hidden. It became clear that this guardian was no ordinary protector. The inscription told of a man who had once been noble and kind, transformed by a vengeful curse into the massive, shadowy creature who now watched over the child. Long ago, the guardian had been a human entrusted with protecting a sacred realm. In a cruel twist of fate, a bitter sorcerer cast a spell, condemning him to bear a monstrous form until a pure soul could break the curse. This secret weighed on the serpent every day. Its protective nature, once born of gentle duty, was now entwined with a desperate longing for redemption, a redemption that could only be achieved by the touch of innocence. The child, with a heart untainted by cynicism, was that key. As the child absorbed the truth, a new understanding began to form. The bond they shared was not merely a stroke of fate, but a carefully woven thread in an ancient tapestry of magic and sacrifice. The guardian's presence was both a blessing and a heavy burden. For if the curse were to be broken, it would demand a cost that neither the serpent nor the child had yet fathomed. A low wind rustled through the trees as if echoing the sentiment of the old inscription. The serpent's eyes, deep and somber, flickered with memories of a life once lived, a life filled with hope, love, and betrayal. The realization dawned that the guardian was bound by forces far beyond simple protection. Its existence was tethered to a dark magic that had shaped the history of the land, and now, that same magic stirred awake in the shadows. Before the child could fully process this revelation, the forest seemed to exhale a breath of warning. The ancient trees creaked, and leaves whispered secrets on the wind. It was at that moment that a subtle but important reminder echoed through the undercurrent of the tale. If these mysterious journeys through old magic and hidden curses keep you intrigued, stay with us. The path ahead promises more twists than you might expect. In the following days, the forest grew more restless. The guardian serpent began to show signs of inner conflict. Its movements became hesitant, and its gaze often turned toward the dark corners of the woods as if anticipating something ominous. The child noticed that the once calm protector now recoiled at unexpected sounds and shadows that crept along the forest floor. There was a new presence lurking, a force that seemed determined to reclaim the ancient curse and all that it had once taken away. One evening, under a sky filled with a waning crescent moon, the serpent led the child to a place of rare and potent power, a circle of standing stones, each one glowing with a faint, otherworldly light. In this sacred clearing, the air was thick with magic, and time itself seemed to pause. The guardian's form appeared to shift under the moon's silver glow. For a brief, heart-stopping moment, the child saw something startling, a flash of a human face in the serpent's eyes, filled with anguish and longing. The ground trembled softly beneath their feet, as if the earth itself acknowledged the awakening of something long dormant. In that trembling silence, the serpent spoke in a voice that was both tender and laced with despair. "The time has come. The choice is yours." The words hung in the cool night air, laden with the promise of a transformation that could either mend a broken soul or shatter the delicate bond they had nurtured. At that very moment, a low, menacing growl echoed from the depths of the forest. The sound was unlike anything the child had heard before, a reminder that darkness still lingered, eager to reclaim what had been lost. From the edge of the clearing, a shadow emerged. It moved with a purposeful grace, its eyes catching the light with a malevolent glint that sent a shiver down the child's spine. The serpent recoiled, its scaled body stiffening in a mixture of fear and defiance. The ancient curse, it seemed, was not willing to release its grip without a fight. The forest held its breath as the dark figure advanced, each step punctuating the growing tension. The child, caught between awe and terror, felt the weight of destiny pressing down with every heartbeat. In that final, suspended moment, the guardian's dual nature converged with the encroaching darkness. The child's mind raced with questions about sacrifice, redemption, and the price of freedom. What choice lay ahead? Would the innocent heart of a child be strong enough to break the curse? Or would it become the final piece in an ancient, tragic puzzle? The forest seemed to tighten its grip around the sacred clearing, the air thick with anticipation. The dark figure advanced, its malevolent presence casting long, jagged shadows across the circle of glowing stones. The child felt the serpent's tension, its massive form coiled protectively, yet trembling under the weight of ancient fears and unspoken truths. "You must choose," the serpent's voice echoed again, softer this time, laced with an urgency that sent a chill through the child's bones. The flicker of the human face in the serpent's eyes lingered in the child's mind, a haunting reminder of the guardian's tragic past and the cost of the bond they shared. The dark figure stopped at the edge of the clearing, its eyes gleaming like twin embers in the night. The ground trembled slightly beneath their feet, the standing stones pulsing with an eerie light, as if the earth itself was aware of the impending decision. The child's heart pounded, torn between fear and the unshakable connection with the serpent. A sudden gust of wind whipped through the clearing, carrying with it whispers from the forest, voices of long-forgotten souls, urging the child toward a choice neither fully understood. The serpent's eyes met the child's one last time, filled with a mix of hope and resignation. "Whatever happens," the serpent murmured, "know that you were my light in the darkness." The child took a hesitant step forward, feeling the weight of destiny settle on small shoulders. Just as the child reached out toward the serpent's shimmering form, a blinding light erupted from the standing stones, swallowing the clearing in an otherworldly glow. The dark figure lunged, and the forest roared to life, its ancient magic surging like a tidal wave. And then, everything went dark. The forest fell silent, the choice made but the outcome unknown. Somewhere in the shadows, the truth waited to be revealed. But for now, only the whispering trees knew what fate had been sealed.